All right, thanks for joining us. This is Ship to Shore Podcast, Episode 1. My name's Corey. I'm joined by my lovely wife, Anna.
Thank you for that lovely and formal introduction.
Feeling good. Excited about Episode 1.
I can't believe that we're doing this.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal.
We are so excited. We have been preparing to do this for months, and we had first sort of mentioned it last year about, we listen to a lot of podcasts ourselves, and I think we were just kind of like, hey, we could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and then
And we did.
a lot of things happened in our life last year.
Yeah.
And here we are. Nice
That's
to
coming
meet
soon.
you.
Before we get into that, before you do any of that, please go give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Give us a like, subscribe, download it. Do what you do. Even if you don't listen, do that anyways, because that helps us out.
It will definitely help us, and we're hoping that we are going to be helpful to other people. So we appreciate the love. You can also follow us on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. So find us, follow, and subscribe. And we've got so much in store.
Yes.
Some really good ideas.
Yes. A little about us first. My name's Corey. This is, like I said, my lovely wife, Hannah. We've been married for 11 years now.
11
years. 2 beautiful boys. All boy, every part, every bit, just 100% boy, dirty, nasty, stinking, smelling, and we love it. And man,
we've lived here our whole lives,
Yeah.
pretty much. We're from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, if you didn't know that already. We've been here and there, but the majority of our lives have been spent here, and most specifically out in the middle of nowhere.
in the country. Yes.
We like living far out. 11 years. Man,
Yeah.
think back just over the past 11 years and all of the moments, not even just significant moments, but all of the absolutely horrible things that have happened, but also like all of the greatest joys that I never thought I would see in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And so much has happened.
How much we thought some of those awful moments would affect us and how little they really have looking back. How much those awesome moments really outweigh those when you really look back at it.
Well, and we were so young, I'm 32, or
There you go.
back up.
There you go.
I am 31 until June.
You're pretty close.
31 and a half. We got married when I was 21. Yep.
I think you were 20 when we got married. Mm-hmm. Then you turned. I'm pretty sure you were 20 when we got married.
And that's right. I turned 21 that June after we got married.
Even younger and even dumber than we originally thought.
We got married on Valentine's Day at the courthouse. We just didn't want to have all that.
We couldn't wait.
Big fancy wedding stuff. And we also couldn't wait.
There was no waiting.
No. I had just moved to Huntsville for a job that I was working at the time, and you were
working restaurants still.
Yeah. Working the restaurant.
I was working the restaurant and still running bread routes when we were together and getting married.
That's
it wasn't until we left to go to Huntsville that I quit working the bread. Finally.
That was a literal lifetime ago.
Yeah.
It feels like it was forever ago, but
2 presidents ago.
Oh my gosh. Like, we may have been young when we got married, but we have experienced so much in our 11 years that I really think that's why we felt really inspired to do this. I feel like I'm sort of skipping ahead, but I just feel like it's a good opportunity to say it.
No, why are we here? Yeah.
But it's a good opportunity for us to share our experiences, the knowledge that we've gained, as well as some of the lessons we've learned along the way.
Mm.
And, also just it being a millennial relationship is a whole nother, you know, area almost, because there's so many things that I feel like specifically our generation has to deal with parenting and the world that we live in, culture, social influences.
The
Like
whole
there's
world's
just
different.
so much, everything. And I know every generation probably says this, every decade, oh, the world is crazy, but
It's nothing like it was when I
specifically,
was a kid, but it's also nothing like we thought it was gonna be once we got here.
yeah,
Not anything like we expected. No one was really ready for it. And we were just kind of thrown into it. And then we threw ourselves even deeper by let's get married. Hey, let's have a kid. Hey, let's buy a house. Let's move 2 times. Let's do all, let's
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 do
do all the hardest things as soon as we can. That way we'll just get it out of the way. Surely that will work out. Surely it won't make it hard on us.
I'm pretty sure we checked off like half our bucket list in like the first 5 years that we were married.
Hmm.
Really? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
um, but we were young and we did what we felt in our heart, and it has worked out for us. But we also want to sort of share our story. Um,
Because of those mistakes, because of what we've learned. You can't learn any of that unless you just screw it up real bad.
yeah, I feel like we hit a very low point, and it was really hard. And this is very hard and awkward to talk about because we are typically pretty private people, I feel like. And for the first time ever, we're opening ourselves up and being vulnerable and um,
Yeah.
sharing our story, which it's a crazy one. It's a doozy, and it's definitely it's heavy.
Yeah.
So,
It's heavy, but it's important, and that's why we're doing it because there are dark moments in every marriage, There's gonna be things that happen. You go through eras, you go through highs and lows, and the way that you approach those, the way you handle those really make a difference. Hopefully you're able to come back from that, however low you let it go. And luckily we were. All every time that we've had a low point, we've been able to bring it back. But specifically this past year has been so eye-opening for us, and the lessons learned are invaluable, and the effect that it has had on our relationship, on our personal lives and our work lives and our children's lives and our children's relationship and our relationship with our children, the relationship with our parents, everything about our whole life has changed because of the lessons that we've learned in the past year. And those lessons came from hard times. Those hard times came from harder times. It just happened. And you may already know some of the things that we're going to say. You may already have learned a lot of the lessons that we just learned in the last year. And if you have, congratulations. But maybe there's 2 dozen other couples who haven't learned it yet. Maybe they'll hear it from us and maybe they'll gain some insight from it. But if not, we just want to share our story and we just want to talk about how hard it is to be married this day and age and to survive, to make it through what's going on in the world and everything that's thrown at you as a married couple with phones and TV and everything going on around you.
right.
Here I sound like an old man. Phones and the
No, I
TVs.
mean, no, I think that monogamous relationships are harder than ever before,
Hmm.
and maybe it's just ever increasing and they will always become harder and harder, but um yeah, I mean, I think that maybe some of the viewpoints have changed a little bit or shifted as far as, you know, finding your place and where you feel like you belong, whether that be, within yourself or how you relate to your partner or your spouse. Um, and I think there's just a lot of things that we want to cover. We want to talk to other people for sure and
Yeah.
hear some stories of success and also lots of stories of failure.
Yes. You
Um,
can't have one without the other.
yeah.
And usually your greatest successes come after your worst failures.
Hmm.
Certainly ours have.
Yeah.
Every time that things have gotten the worst that we thought they could have, we come out on the other side better. But for us, we went through all those things so young that we're just too dumb to learn our lessons, and we just kept screwing up over and over again. But I think we finally got it right. We finally do. But we want to share that. And personally, I'm so disappointed with the viewpoint of marriage with our generation and the generation afterwards. People are so quick to give up, and
Yeah.
it's so easy just to walk away
Mhm.
and to just move on and not work on yourself first, because that's probably where most of the problems lie. If you look inward, you're going to figure out, well, what am I doing wrong? If you fix that, it's probably going to carry over into other areas of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not to say, I'm sure there are relationships out there that are just toxic in every way and are not worth being saved, but I feel
Yeah.
like for the most part, our generation has always sort of had the mindset of work smarter, not
Hmm.
harder. And I think that that carries over into everything, including relationships. I think that whenever the going gets tough and like push comes to
Yeah.
shove and shit gets real,
Yeah.
people they're anti-confrontation about it
Yes.
and they just want to throw in the towel.
Our generation will take the easy road 9 times out of 10 every time because it's the path of least resistance. But you have to have that resistance to grow, to get stronger, to be better. Like that's what we did personally. I mean, we are kind of diving into stuff earlier than I ever planned, maybe episodes before, but like we just kept going, kept going, kept going. Things are okay now, so we're just going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving forward and not fix what happened because this is easier. If we can just move on past today, then
Yeah.
everything will be fine. It surely will. Instead of looking each other in the eye and just diving into what's going on, how are you feeling? How am I feeling? Why? Why? Figure that out and let's fix it, which is what we've been doing lately. And maybe you, like I said, the rest of you might already be doing this, but we're just figuring this shit out. So like we're just getting there. Like and we're excited about it. So we're telling everybody.
I know. I feel like it literally feels like so we're going to dive much further into this in much more detail with some things that are going to shock you in the next couple of episodes of this podcast because we're going to dive into a really detailed recount of our marriage and our relationships, ups and downs, and sort of how we worked through those.
All the
But
mistakes that we can remember.
right,
Right.
who knows how many that, well, and all the good things that I'm sure that a lot that I remember and a lot I've forgotten. But anyway,
Definitely more good than bad.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
I block out the bad stuff. We just bury that down.
But I mean, it's a long story, and we want to dive more into that in the next couple of episodes. But I just think that I feel really strongly that in July of last year we um, untapped a life hack. But I don't know. It's
Yeah,
crazy that it
that.
took so long, but
Yeah,
something major
yeah,
shifted in our life.
yeah. And like we just said a couple of minutes ago, most of the time those times come from hitting rock bottom. Like you hit the bottom, and you're looking at each other and at yourself like, what are we doing? What do we do?
Yeah,
And then if it's important enough to you, then you figure it out. Maybe not everyone is as lucky as I am, as we are, to have found your soulmate, like the person that was created and molded specifically for you. I truly believe that I have found that. I don't think everybody finds that, but oh no, I was talking about soulmates and I got all twisted around what I was trying to say. Not everybody's that lucky, so you might have to work even harder, like it makes it easy for me because I know. Because I know what I've got, it makes it easy for me to say, okay, well, I'll do whatever it takes. Maybe you don't have that, but how important is your relationship to you? How important is having a companion and a partner that gives, that wants the best for you, that is looking out for you? Because that's what what else do you want? You want companionship and partnership and someone to be there for you, to lift you up, to you can't tap into everything that you have on your own. You need someone else to tap into that and help you grow and be everything that you can be.
yeah, for sure. And I know that we've talked about this a couple of times recently, but we've sort of discovered that a lot of the things that make relationships better stem around being able to know where that line lies between selfless and selfish. And I think that being able to give and receive with each other, and communicate in a healthy way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the core of,
Yeah.
what we've found has made huge improvements, but we want to hear what other people have to say too. And, maybe maybe this is like some sort of like an actual book that's written on this theory about,
Yeah.
how we've talked about choosing joy,
Hmm.
like that's a conscious choice that we're
Yeah.
making every day. I don't know. There's probably a
Choosing
book
joy.
called
Choose love.
Kamamutra or something. Kasamanala, choosing joy. But,
What? Buy it. Buy that one.
well, maybe we need to get it in this real short podcast series. But, yeah,
It
I
makes
mean,
such a difference. Just because, like, people are just floating through life. You know, they're just going through the motions. Like, oh, I know my wife is gonna be there tomorrow. I know she's gonna be there the next day. I know I'm not cheating and I'm not doing this and that. So I know she's not just gonna dip out and leave. So I can just kind of relax and float through. But it's constant effort and work, and not that it's a chore to do that. But if it's important enough to you, then you'll wake up every day, say, "Hey, how are you? Can I help you in any? What can I do for you? How can I make your day better and easier?" It's that easy and that quick. It changes everything,
yeah,
just like that.
you're absolutely right, and I feel like in order to give that to another person, it's very important that you keep a check on your mental health. And this podcast, we want to serve partially as a platform to talk about mental health, um, to talk about how important it is to making sure that you're good so that you can be your best for everyone else. Um, I personally have struggled with my mental health for, I mean, decades since I was a child. And so it's something that's really close to my heart, and I think that we both have been really impacted by different mental health
Yeah,
scenarios with each other and within our families, that have really opened our eyes to we need to be talking about this
yeah,
more
yeah.
because
We've had
this
our
is,
own individual struggles that are similar and different.
yeah,
That come on later and sooner, and the way that you handle that's important too.
yeah,
Where you're checking in with your spouse.
absolutely. And just understanding what it looks like to be in a good place mentally. Um, you know, if you've struggled with a mental health condition, depression, anxiety, OCD, ADD, whatever it may be, it's like every day is a battle that you're fighting in this war and it just never ends. It's with you forever. It's like diabetes or anything else, but it's something that if you don't know how to deal with it properly, I feel like your life could take
Yeah,
drastically different turns.
it cannot
Um,
go ignored.
yeah,
No, absolutely.
super important.
And it's important also to note that as a spouse that just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean that it's your spouse's fault. If I see that you're struggling, there were a lot of times early in our marriage when we were young, if you're struggling, I took that so personally. Like, oh shit, what did I do? Like, is this me? What did I do? Like, am I being this way? How can I be better? And, also being young and immature yourself, not knowing how to get that across to me and communicate that, and that can be so detrimental to a relationship. And that's basically what happened to us. And it just spiraled and snowballed.
Absolutely. And we felt, or I feel, that what I've struggled with the most during dealing with my mental health battles and relationship issues that we may have had, I just felt like I had no one to relate to that was my age. And maybe that was just me, you know, I'm kind of a weirdo and
No,
I have a small circle, but I do have a big heart, and I felt like it was important for us at our age in our walk of life to open up. And, you know, whatever. If nobody listens to
absolutely.
this, then we're
Yeah.
doing it for
Yeah, whatever.
ourselves.
Yeah, we're only doing this for us, really. I mean, honestly, not to brag, but things are going so well in our relationship. We just got to tell everybody about it. She said the word life hack, but it really is like a relationship hack. It's so silly and so small that we should have figured out 11 years ago, and we didn't, but we have now, and so this is what we're doing with it. We're choosing joy, and we're choosing love, and we're choosing to check in on each other and to do what's right for each other first, you know, not be so selfish and so inward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I was just taking all that in because I was just thinking about how heavy this probably feels for somebody, you know, listening as, you know, this is their first episode of listening to
Yeah.
our podcast. And I will say that there are going to be a lot of things that we cover. These are two that are super important to us that will be frequent topics in the show, but
Yeah.
we also a little bit
Yeah, it's
funny.
not going to be all heavy. No, no, yeah, we're 100% pro funny. Yeah. Yeah, pro funny, pro
We
roast.
cut up. We like to cut up. We like to laugh. Shout out to Tom Segura and
Oh.
Christina Pajitsi, my girl. Love you, girl. Oh man, I did it. It's okay. I'll cut it out. Shout out to Christina P. Um, I feel like Corey probably, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like I'd have been very much inspired by their podcast.
Yes. Well, the way that they are so open with each other and with their audience, I
Yeah.
think. Well, that's part of like you said earlier that we're going to be very honest about our story and what happened to us. It's very gritty. It's very. It can be dark at times. We're going to be honest and real, and I think that's the only way for it to come across in a true way. If
Mm-hmm.
it's going to come across real at all, we're going to tell you
Raw.
what really happened to us, what we've really learned, and what we're going through, what we went through, and how we're going to deal with the future. If that sounds at all entertaining to you, keep coming back, keep listening, because as we keep going, we're going to run out of shit to say. We're going to have to start talking about current stuff and be topical.
Oh my gosh. You guys, we have so many ideas. Like, we want to give back to the community. We want to support some local organizations that we feel really strongly help people in a
Hmm.
really big way here in Tuscaloosa. But maybe even bigger than that. Like, we want this to genuinely help people. We want to, you know, try to serve our community in some way with our, with monetarily, time. So we're going to need y'all's help when that time
Yeah,
comes. And that's going to be, I hope, something really impactful and
yeah.
fun.
If this goes far enough in long enough time, we'd like to have our own organization to help give back to the community in whatever way we can figure out that happens. Whether um adoption is really big on our hearts and on our list of helping people. So if that's something we can help people get across, help give stuff to schools, whatever we can do for kids. We love kids. We only have two. We're only gonna have two, but we love all the kids. We'll help everybody's kids, but we only want two. So we'll help yours out, but we're
One,
done. No more.
two, the shop is
Yeah,
closed.
they are a handful. It's like having four because they talk enough for six kids.
Man, our kids are the bomb. Shout out to all the mommies and daddies out there because parenting is hella crazy. I think of every job, every book I've ever read, the hardest things I can ever imagine that I've experienced in my life, parenting is still like double that
Oh
hard.
God, yeah, the most stressful.
Because it's just, knowing what feels right and doing what feels right in your heart, and maybe, breaking away from things that maybe your parents did and trying something new, or maybe
Well,
sticking to tradition.
and it never really stops. It just your fears and your stress changes as they get older.
Mhm.
Like when they're first born, you're just like, oh my god, don't die, please let me keep this thing alive. Everyone's gonna be so mad at me. Like how can especially being so young for us too, right? And they're older, and you're like, oh my god, he's gonna now he can open doors. Oh my god, no, now what are we gonna do? And now they're like, he's learned cuss words at school. Like it just
Oh,
always is changing into something else. So you have to evolve with it. And if you're not taking care of yourself and taking care of each other, how are you going to turn them into respectable adults?
yeah,
We have two young men that it's our responsibility to make sure that they grow up to be respectful members of society that are good to each other, that are good to their spouses and good to the people that they work with and to their children. And if we're not handling our shit, how are we going to be able to help them through it?
yeah.
And luckily, we have figured this out before they're old enough to commit a real crime. And we're going to handle it. We're going to fix ourselves and fix this stuff.
One of them is questionable. I will not name
I'll let y'all
names.
figure that out later.
I can watch this back one day, and boys, you can decide for yourself 10 years from
Who
now
we're talking about.
who we're talking
You know
about.
who you are, criminal. No, but we are so excited about this. And whether you're excited to hear it or not, we're excited to share our story and the lessons that we've learned and tell you the awful things that we've done to each other over the past 11 years.
Well, and also talk about some of this crazy shit that's going down like every day in Tuscaloosa, or how
Mhm.
about the United States of America? Like
Mm.
every day, it gets kind of wild sometimes,
Yeah, it's wild out there, y'all. Be careful. Be
Dude,
careful out there. Shit's getting crazy.
what's the craziest what's the craziest article or like video that you've seen this week that you can think of off the top of your
Oh
head?
no, you put me on the spot like that. Probably something about robotics. These like crazy robots they're making that can do all these flips and like
Dude.
do obstacle courses. Yeah.
Like the chat
Yeah.
GPT robots that they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're doing things they're not supposed to do, so
Yeah, they're like we programmed it where like it won't tell you how to do anything bad unless you just really want to. Then you can figure it out. It'll teach you how to make a bomb or cook meth or whatever you want to do.
dude. And right after they put that movie Megan out, and then they're gonna be like, oh, also chat GPT, which can do literally anything you ask it to.
That's so scary, man.
That's been kind of crazy. I think the craziest stuff that I have been just really gotten roped into a rabbit hole is the Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez drama.
That is what you're wrapped up in right now.
I'm so invested because anybody that knows me knows I cannot stand a mean girl.
Mm-mm.
A girl that's
Stay
just a
out of here.
bully and picks on others because of her own insecurities. I just feel like it's so
Ain't got no time for
infuriating.
that around here.
Yeah, I've dealt with that and seen it my whole life, and it's really
We're all about being
old.
positive here, lifting each other
Exactly.
up.
Celebrate each other, you know?
Not to say we won't roast you in a heartbeat, but we're all about lifting each other up.
And I'm sure everyone knows about what I'm referencing, but apparently Selena or Hailey Bieber has been like shading Selena Gomez on TikTok, but then like when she's called out on it, she's like, "Oh no, that was just innocent, it's no big deal." But I don't know. At first I was like, "Oh, come on, they're just trying to make a mountain out of a molehill." But then when I read into it, I was like,
How can you really know, though? You know? How do you know what's being said is true from either side?
"See,
You gotta
that's why
talk
you
to them.
gotta. I'll send you the
You
link.
got
I'll
yeah.
send you the
Send me the
link.
link. Let me make my.
You
And
gotta watch the
I'll make an
videos."
informed decision after I read this
Yeah,
this
and the Jenners
piece of
too. The
journalism.
Jenners are in with Hailey Bieber, and I loved Hailey Bieber,
I
didn't
think
I? Before
you
all
did.
this happened,
You
I
did
was like a huge supporter of her Rhode skinwear. I have been trying to
just
get
like
on the
that.
wait list, and it keeps on getting sold out. Anyways, I guess not now if this is true. Whatever. I know it's just like petty celebrity drama, but this really hit home because
Well,
I don't like
because
mean
it's
girls.
important. Because what are we doing? We're choosing joy. and we're choosing love. We ain't got no room for that mean girl shit if we're choosing joy and we're choosing love. If you're waking up every day and looking out of the world and saying, I'm going to look at the good, I'm going to choose the good, I'm going to choose to find the good, even if I'm looking at a shitty situation and there's awful all around it and I can't see any good over there, well, let me look here. Let
Yeah,
me look here. Good, good, always good. Nothing's going to get
absolutely.
me down. Fuck all
Yeah.
that noise.
Well, and
Sorry.
I'm here for the kindness. I like the good vibes.
Yeah,
I don't know. It took me till I'm this old to realize that there are going to be people in your life that you may care about that just those relationships weren't meant to last forever.
mhm,
And I think that kind of goes back into mental health too, and knowing when to cut people out of your life that are bringing you down, weighing you down.
I agree.
Sometimes that's
We
necessary.
could do a whole episode on that, on
Oh,
adult
heck.
friendships, and how hard it is to maintain them, and when it's important, and when it's not, and when it's healthy, when it's not. You know,
By the way, I need some friends.
taking applications for friends.
Hit me up, H_Ender on Instagram. Um, no, I'm real strange. I guess we should probably tell everybody. I am. I'm real strange. Um, but we should probably tell everybody, a couple little details about who we are. Some of these people may not
Oh,
know who we are at all, and
well,
respect if you are listening right
if you're
now.
still listening 30 minutes in and you care about who we are, then let me tell you.
Yeah. So like I said, real strange this one. Um, I and actually consider myself to be pretty creative.
I think so.
Um, I am a huge art fanatic. I love painting and I love, thank you.
There'll be more back here soon. We're gonna load all this up with stuff that she's painted.
Hey, and if y'all have any ideas for some real cool, weird things that we could put on the wall back here, let us
Yeah,
know.
taking requests.
Like, the stranger, the better. We're trying to, make an impression
Just
here.
nothing to get us demonetized.
Monetization, that's not going to come for probably ever. But anyways, so I love art, but I also love digital art. And let's see, what else? Something
Well, that's
makes
an
me real.
understatement. Every graphic or every piece that you see on any social media for Ship to Shore, anything in the background here is all done by her. It's incredible.
You're
She's
so
a
sweet.
genius.
Thank you. Thank you. I really do enjoy it, and I do take pride in it because it's like the one thing in my life that I feel like I can do okay. Um,
The one thing?
well, I mean,
See, you gotta stop
because,
talking like that. The one thing? I can
well,
name 20 off the top of my head.
I should say, let me reword that. It's the main thing in my life that I feel like I can do
Okay.
really well. And it really brings me a lot of peace, and I don't know, it's this place of comfort that I've always found over the years with my various struggles. But let's see, what else? What's something else kind of weird about me? Because I mean, let's be real. Y'all want to know
She's
what's juicy.
hilarious.
Y'all want to know what's
Well,
interesting.
we'll get into that in a few episodes. We gotta rope them in first, make them like us. No, incredible artist. Um, great sense of fashion. You love clothes. You love fashion. You love buying clothes. Well, the only person I know that can spend so long in a store, hours, hours, and not even get tired or hungry or have to go to the bathroom or need water or sunlight or anything that humans need. It's all given
Let's
to
be
you
real.
in the store.
Last time I was in a store for over like
When's the last time you went
30
to a store with your
minutes.
mom? That would be when you were in there for a
Shout
couple
out to
hours.
Molly. Hey, Molly. Yeah. Um, I love my family so much and I love my friends and any of them that have asked me about the podcast and if they're going to be mentioned or not, I've told all of them, y'all are so crazy. Like I would never throw y'all under the bus or
Yeah,
say
yeah, no
something terrible
names.
about you. Um,
Stories will be told, but we won't,
but
for
now I
legal
will shout
reasons,
out,
we won't give any names.
well, I am going to shout out Molly Wendell,
Molly.
my mother. She's the best. If you know my mom, you love my mom. She's just one of the most awesome people I've ever met. But she used to take us clothes shopping, and it was for a long time.
Couple days.
Like,
See you in a couple days.
we'd get there like around 12 or 1 o'clock, and like clothes Kmart down like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. I'm talking about like these
Blue light
folks
special.
would be looking at us like, y'all been in here all day.
2 buggies full.
I hope y'all found some school clothes. I think we tried on one of everything, but thank you for the clothes, Ma. I did appreciate them, but it took forever. I did it again, but anyway.
We can edit that. It's fine.
Also, I think that it might be interesting that I don't really eat a lot of meat.
Mm.
I don't care for meat.
But not vegetarian, just picky. Like, no, I won't eat a steak. But is that a McDonald's cheeseburger with no onions? I'll eat that.
I like
Fried
powdered
chicken?
meat.
Mm-mm.
Powdered meat's good
What?
most of the time.
Powdered meat?
Isn't that what McDonald's meat is?
Powder?
Yeah, don't they just throw it in
Don't-
some water and
Oh, I don't think so.
oh,
Powder meat?
I'm pretty sure you need to look that up.
Well, shit, powder meat's pretty good then. I don't know, man. I'll eat
was
powder meat.
just
Pink slime chicken nuggets, whatever.
I mean, let's be real. Like, how many times have you cleaned out your vehicle and found half a McDonald's cheeseburger from 2 years ago just
Ah,
completely
got the wrong
hard
guy.
and
Got the wrong guy. I don't leave nothing left. It's just a wrapper. Now I found some pickles I pulled out in the wrapper, and those things they get pretty hard, pretty steamed, pretty crusty.
But that's the thing is like, yeah, they get hard, but they still look exactly the same. Like they were just cooked. It's like they just go into wax mode and then it's like, and then to make edible, you just heat it
Does
up.
that mean that like in a million years, if they find like fossils of McDonald's cheeseburgers, gonna look exactly the same, just
Oh,
hard as
yeah.
a rock?
Yep.
That would be awesome.
I'm trying to think.
We might be losing people on the McDonald's. Powder
So
meat talk.
anyway, if you're a parent, I know y'all have found at least one cheeseburger straight up like concrete.
I want to know from other parents about the most nasty food item you found in your child's room. That's what I want to know. Where did they hide it, and how gross did it look? Because I feel like we might be able to come pretty close. I'm gonna wait till we get some stuff sent in, because they just be taking food in their room. You're like, hey, no food in your room, and you don't think there is none until you move that one box out the way, and there's just 100 Cheeto crumbs. It's all over the place. Goldfish crackers. It's just everywhere. Unbelievable.
And like as a kid, maybe it was just me, but I was super like that would have bothered me. Like just
Yeah.
seeing trash or like whatever laying around my room, I would have been like, oh, that's
Not
gonna
me.
make bugs.
I'm a slob.
They just don't even see it. I'm like,
Maybe
"Oh,
they get it from me.
how long has that Cheetos bag been laying over there?" And they're like, like we haven't had Cheetos in 3 months.
We stopped buying Cheetos.
So it's been at least 90 days ago.
Yeah, for real. You're like, oh, shit, we haven't shopped at Winn-Dixie since we lived on Hillcrest.
Yeah, this is bad. Well, anyway, I digress. That's a little about me. So, what are some things that make you real neat?
I'm pretty neat. I'm a musician.
I'm pretty neat.
I'm a mediocre musician.
You
I'm
good?
an unexceptionable guitar player, but it's where I find my peace, and I love it so much.
He's amazing.
I also love the outdoors. I love being outside, fishing,
Mhm.
catching bass, ripping lips.
Yeah, you are kind of you're definitely a fisherman.
Yeah, I like being outside. I like the air. I like waking up early and doing stuff, like no matter what it is.
Yeah,
I like to wake up early and go do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a very determined person.
Yeah. If I decide it that I'm gonna do it, like I have to go do it.
You follow through.
If I get excited about it, if it's something I don't want to do, I might find a way out of it, or I might not get so excited to wake up early to do it. But if I'm like, that's gonna be awesome, like I'll go to bed right now, wake up at 3 a.m. and go do it because it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. But when it comes to me, I'm more of a go with the flow. You know what I'm saying?
We are so different there. We're so opposite. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely
in
more
that
like
vein.
lackadaisical and like flip from here to there and like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah, whatever. Oh, I changed my mind. Oh, I changed my mind
Oh, that's
again.
frustrating. Yeah, yeah, that's
And you're not at all that way. You're like the
no.
complete opposite.
Especially
But
once I get stoked on something. If I'm like, oh, that thing is gonna be an awesome thing. I can't wait to get there to do the thing. Like I get set on it. But you'll be like, oh, that's an awesome thing. But you'll find like three other awesome things on the way and be like, cool, maybe that, or maybe that. I'm like, no, eye on the prize. Let me do the thing. Let me get it over with.
um yeah. So we're a lot different, but I feel like in summary, we are at a place in our relationship that's better than it has ever been.
Mhm.
I think we have some very valuable, open-minded, unbiased information to share, and we're hoping that it will help or encourage other people in our boat. We also hope to share some laughs. We hope to increase mental health awareness and provide a place where people can talk about it without it being a
Yeah.
big deal and
If I
give
could touch on
back.
that for a second, that's
Yeah,
something important that I do want to say. I think, like, when we first discussed doing this and it started kind of rolling, even when we didn't really even think that it would come to fruition and we'd actually like buy the equipment and learn how to do this and learn the programs and just figure all this shit out. Even though I didn't think about it then, now that it has started, I find it so important that we have a space to encourage and let men speak about that and speak about their mental health as men, as fathers, as husbands. It's not talked about. We don't talk about it with each other. I'm sure we barely talk about it with our wives. I haven't until the last 6, 7, 8 months ever discussed it with my wife. And there's no reason to suffer. There's no reason to struggle. There's no reason that you can't express, hey, we've got a lot of weight on our shoulders. You know, the world puts weight on us. Our spouses, our children put weight on us that they don't even intend to, but it's there because they're our responsibility. And so there has to be a place where we can talk about it and discuss it and say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I'm dealing with. I don't even know why. And what do we do? How do we
yeah,
go from there? If you can't discuss it with your spouse, there should be no fear. There should be no fear of looking a certain way or feeling weak or feeling this and that, you know.
right.
It sucks, but you gotta go through it. And why would you want to do it by yourself? That's the whole point. The whole point of having a, a partner, you know.
Yeah,
Lay it on. Let's go. Help me through this. Here's what I'm struggling. And
yeah,
it's not your fault. I don't know. Help me.
yeah,
You know, we gotta have that.
yeah, absolutely. So, next episode, we are going to dive into sort of a detailed layout of our marriage and
Might be a two-parter.
the utmost of highs and um some really terrible too.
Some lows.
And a
And we're
lot in
going into
between.
detail, like nitty-gritty detail. Stuff that I don't even want to talk about. Stuff
Right,
I don't want to tell you guys this stuff.
right.
But we're going to be transparent. We're going to be honest because what we're saying is coming from a good place and we want good things. And if we sit here and tell you how great everything is for us and how we're this and that and we're so amazing and don't tell you about all the dumb shit we've done to each other, then it won't mean anything.
Mm, that's true.
Mm.
That's very true. We want you to understand that we are coming from a place of love and we want to be pretty transparent and pretty raw and honest about this stuff because um, we want you guys to trust us, and we want to be able to communicate with you all about how you're feeling and how your relationships are going and questions or concerns that you may have about things we discuss or ideas that you found have worked well. So, um, that's going to be coming up next
Stay
episodes.
tuned.
Stay tuned. We're going to release episodes every Friday. We don't know the time yet, TBA. You can find that on social
That
media
means to be
soon.
announced.
TBA. What else could it stand for?
Total badass.
Total badass. Man, I was trying to think of something about a bunion. Thick,
Tickling bunions ASAP.
thick bunion atrophy.
Oh,
Oh, that
yeah.
sounds like an actual condition. Anyway, so we'll get back to you on
Bless
that.
you, brother.
Thank you all again for sticking with us this long and hearing about
Holy
what our
shit, 47 minutes?
hear about kind of what our podcast is going to be about. Obviously, this is kind of like an introduction icebreaker episode, and we have so many exciting things planned. Like, we're so excited. You
Yeah,
just
it's
don't
gonna be great.
understand. But thank you again. And anything that you would like to close us
No,
out with?
thanks so much. If you've been listening this long, I appreciate you so much more than you know. Keep keep that microphone on there.
Sorry.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Hannah, for doing this with me. If nobody's listening, I don't care. This is for us.
For us!
What up?